We're a bit confused about all the fans, or I'd say lack thereof of all the fans in Stadium 2 while Rybakina was playing. As you can see from videos and pictures, if we were to say that there are hundreds of people watching this match, that would be a stretch.
Fergus, I cannot play Rafa anymore, but if he would make like 10 times time relation to Rafa, because like you need to have some common sense sometimes.
And seeing the Brazilian fans, I mean, that's what you kind of want, you know. You want that new atmosphere. Same for Eala, having all the Philippine fans from coming, you know, to support her. It's fantastic.
The director of the esteemed Indian Wells Tennis Garden, Tommy Hose, is experiencing a problem. Since the gorgeous young tennis player Eala was eliminated from the competition, he has seen a sharp drop in ticket sales. Hose is now frantically trying to figure out how to get the fans back into the stadium. But hold on, the intensity just increased. Hose has even gone so far as to accuse the WTA of failing to take use of Eala's enormous popularity. Let's examine exactly what has been happening and how the Indian Wells event has been completely transformed by Eala's star power. At the 2026 Indian Wells tournament, young Filipino sensation Eala made an incredible debut. Diana Estrica was the opponent in the young prodigy's first game. It wasn't just any match, either. In tennis history, it was a record-breaking event. This match exceeded expectations. However, you may believe that's an exaggeration. The tremendous desire for tickets to see Eala perform caused the costs to soar to previously unimaginable heights. In actuality, Indian Wells sold an incredible $5 million worth of tickets for just that one game.
However, Indian Wells set a single-day attendance record of more than 58,000 fans on the first Friday.
But it wasn't just about the stats. It was all about the ambience, the fervor, and the enthusiasm of the people who came to watch Eala perform. To see the young Filipino phenomenon, more than 58,000 people flocked to the arena. Everyone could tell they were seeing something unique because of the electrifying excitement of the audience. Indian Wells director Tommy Hose was naturally overjoyed. This was significant for a tournament like Indian Wells, which has a long and distinguished history. However, this is where the narrative takes a dramatic turn. Eala was ousted from the event almost as fast as she had won over tennis fans. What followed was even more startling. Sales of tickets fell precipitously. After being packed for Eala's game, the stadiums were suddenly hauntingly deserted. Nearly overnight, the crowd that had crowded the stands to support Eala vanished. The tournament's energy seemed to be fading and the enchantment had vanished.
We were a bit confused about all the fans, or I'd say lack thereof of all the fans in Stadium 2 while Rybakina was playing. As you can see from videos and pictures, if we were to say that there are hundreds of people watching this match, that would be a stretch.
After enjoying the success of Eala's match, Tommy Hose found himself in a panic. Hose was frantically trying to figure out how to fill the stadiums once more as the crowd began to dwindle. And what was his remedy? Tommy Hose has reportedly been attempting to set up 1 or 2 exhibition bouts with none other than Eala herself in an effort to stop the downhill spiral. Yes, it is correct. Even if it's not a part of the official event, he wants to get Eala back on the court in an attempt to win back the fans. According to reports, Hose has even attempted to persuade Eala to participate in an exhibition match prior to the Miami Open in an effort to boost ticket sales. The response from the tennis community at large is now even more intriguing. It's no secret that Eala's career has taken off, but things weren't always easy. For example, when Eala qualified to play at the Australian Open, the WTA controversially chose to put her on lesser courts rather than on the main stage. In an attempt to catch a sight of their idol, hundreds of thousands of admirers were forced to stand in enormous queues. Despite Eala's enormous fan base, it was evident to many that the WTA was making every effort to minimize her popularity. However, it did not put out the fire. Rather, it fueled it. The excitement surrounding Eala increased as fans demanded more. It's crucial to remember that Eala's ascent is not solely due to controversy or hype. It's about her extraordinary talent and diligence. You can tell Eala is unique when she receives accolades from one of the best players of all time, Novak Djokovic. According to a comment from Djokovic, it's amazing to watch Eala perform live, but it's even better to watch her on TV. This is no small compliment coming from someone who has faced some of the world's top players. In the tennis world, Djokovic's remarks are highly influential, and it's obvious he acknowledges Eala's true potential.
Eala, you know, that's been a talk, and which is understandable. You know, there's some players coming from respective countries. Like she's coming from Philippines, which is now a big deal. You know, she's been the biggest ever, you know, tennis player from that country, which is a big country, and there's a big interest.
However, despite all of this praise and attention, there is still a lot of tension between the WTA and the Indian Wells event organizers. Tommy Hose is now publicly voicing his dissatisfaction with the WTA's handling of Eala's star power, rather than only being worried about ticket sales. He thinks the WTA lost a great chance to profit from the enormous demand for Eala's matches. The WTA chose to minimize her popularity rather than provide her with the platform she deserved, which has ultimately impacted the tournament. It's not just Hose that finds this scenario frustrating. Numerous tennis players and Eala's admirers have shown their respect for the young Filipino. The previous world number one, Maria Sharapova, has been especially outspoken about how important Eala's accomplishments are. She emphasized that Eala's success stems not just from her personal accomplishments, but also from the representation she offers Asian tennis players. Players from North America and Europe have dominated tennis for many years. Asian presence at the highest levels of women's tennis has also been uncommon, despite the sport's global expansion.
Of course, their victories are so special, but if you treat them too high, and you treat the tough moments as a really big low in your career, it's hard to find that happy medium, and I think that's what that sweet spot is.
According to Sharapova, Eala is transforming that narrative and motivating millions of people who may not have previously felt represented in professional tennis. Fans from all across Asia are supporting her, and she is bringing a new wave of energy and love to the sport. Sharapova's remarks serve as a reminder of the value of inclusion and diversity in athletics, as well as how Eala's achievements are assisting in the dismantling of obstacles. Returning to the current circumstance, however, Tommy Hose is in full crisis mode. Now that the stadiums are empty and ticket sales are plummeting, he's considering making one final attempt to turn things around. Alex's exhibition match. Even if it's only for an exhibition, Hose hopes that by getting Eala back on the court, the fans will come back. The goal is to provide a spectacle that will rekindle the enthusiasm and draw large spectators in time for the women's final. In all honesty, it's not a bad idea. The stadium would be electrifying once more with Eala back on the court, as she has already demonstrated her ability to draw sizable fans. Hose hopes to take advantage of the Eala effect before it's too late because he is aware of its existence. However, it's also evident that he finds the WTA's involvement in all of this frustrating. He believes that Eala's increasing popularity has not received enough backing from the organization. To sum up, the circumstances at Indian Wells are intriguing. Tommy Hose is clearly frustrated with the WTA and is doing everything in his power to win back the audience. Eala has unquestionable star power, and it's obvious that her admirers adore her. However, it's still unclear if the WTA will give Eala the credit she merits or if they will keep downplaying her ascent. There is no doubt that Eala's tale is just getting started and that it is transforming the women's tennis scene. Folks, that concludes today's video. What are your thoughts? Is Tommy Hose exaggerating, or should the WTA be supporting Eala more? Tell us in the comments section below. Remember to subscribe, like, and share for more tennis-related news. I'll see you later.